and also the students and alumni of IBS Hyderabad. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Rishi Bhatnagar, the president of Aeris India, and some of his officials for today's evening. Dr. Bhatnagar brings a wealth of telecom experience to Aeris, including heading digital services for 10 years in Europe, 5 years in the Americas, and 6 years in India. Prior to joining Aeris, he was the global head of digital enterprise service at Tech Mahindra, where he spearheaded the Internet of Things initiatives for the company and smart city projects for the Mahindra Group. Along with the team from Bosch, he co-authored the book Enterprise IoT, which covers IoT project management frameworks, and the methodology proposed in the book has been accepted by the Industrial Internet Consortium. Dr. Bhatnagar is the chairperson of Institution of Engineering and Technology IET, recognized in India as meeting place for sector leaders to interact and support standards, policy, and innovation. He is also a member of National NASCOM Regional Council and the core group by the Co-Federation of Indian Industry, and he received the Digitalist Thought Award in the Internet of Things category at the Digital Transformation Forum by SAP India. Dr. Bhatnagar also held a PhD degree in IT and Computer Science from Singhania University, Rajasthan, India. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Bhatnagar for the online presentation.
Because of the online, somebody has to confirm that I am audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah. So, good evening to all of you. My name is Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar, and as mentioned, I am the chairperson for the Institute of Engineering and Technology Future Technology Panel, as well as I am the president for a company called Aeris Communication. We have next 45 minutes to an hour for our discussion. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. It is always a pleasure to talk to people who have a desire to learn, because it helps me in learning. Okay, so more questions you ask, more is a learning for me, and because I will also like to think what how are you guys thinking and your challenges. I have been able to create a small presentation, and I'll try to see if I can show you my presentation. Just 1 minute. Are you able to see the screen? Somebody has to say yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I got it. So, you all wanted to hear something on how to survive recession, and technology powering the new normal is what I thought I'll talk about. So, as I said, I'm the president for a company called Aeris Communication. A slide or two about the Aeris. We are a 2-decade-old company, a technology company started in Silicon Valley. We are headquartered in Silicon Valley. We started as a mobile virtual network operator, and I don't know how many of you understands MVNO. We do not have a license for spectrum, but we take the infrastructure and license of other telecom operators and provide the cellular connectivity. So we are partnered with T-Mobile, Sprint, and AT&T in United States, and we provide a SIM only for machines. Okay, so we took around 2 decades back a thought that we will give connectivity only to machine. Um, and Today we have given connectivity to more than 14 million devices. Okay, and our SIM works in 180 countries, and we get approximately 2 billion messages every day. And we are around a $100 million plus company. So for a company of our size and working only on Internet of Things, it's a large number. And the amount of these 1.4 billion devices and all these kind of things, 1.4 billion messages, this is the way we define our company. So we are a completely IoT based organization. We started in India in 2016. India was buzzing after 2014 for a digital India kind of initiative. We felt India is a need for a technology, and the kind of scale India can give and the price points India needs. If I can manage the price points, the scale India needs will help me in getting more and more margins outside India. With that kind of thoughts, I left Tech Mahindra, got this opportunity, joined this company, and started working. In 4 years, uh, we are a joint venture with SoftBank. Assuming you all understand what is SoftBank, we are not an investment. They have not invested in us. They are a joint venture with us. And we are also a joint venture with Volkswagen in United States for the connected car solution. We use Google. In India, because we are not the connectivity providers in India, we work with BSNL, Vodafone, and Airtel, all three for the connectivity. We have a joint go-to-market partner in India with AT&T, BSNL, and CFI. And we work with number of technology partners to provide IoT solutions in addition to ours. So because we were working for the connected car solution, we were able to go to an aftermarket and start using a fleet solution. From fleet, we went to insurance sector and said, how can we reduce their theft? Because theft is something on which they have to pay a huge amount of money. So we realized that if I am able to reduce theft of an insurance company, they will be able to make money. And if they will be able to make money, then they will be happy to pay me. Okay. So new technology doesn't mean that everybody is keen to implement a new technology. We need to create a business case, a return on investment, because of which somebody will try to implement a new technology. And that's what we did with Chola. Then we thought that financiers, if they can repossess a vehicle, the auto finance. So if somebody is not paying an EMI and you can proactively tell that, uh, your EMI will not come, and you are in a position to repossess the vehicle faster, you will be in a position to reduce your non-performing assets, the NPAs. So we were able to go to the financiers like Mannapuram, IndusInd Bank, Aeon India, and we were able to provide our services to them. So the IoT solution or digital solutions went from a fleet to BFSI, and from BFSI we went to manufacturing and then to utilities. Now we are focusing on healthcare and smart cities. So these slides I just want to show you to give you a bit of background. And before I go to the next slide, I just want to share you another thing. When you think about Internet of Things or a new digital technology, it is the amalgamation of hardware devices, an industry which was producing things, and the services, the companies like, which provide services. So if you start, differentiating between two kind of companies, one which produce things like devices, like GE, Philips, Cisco, they are the companies which manufacture devices. And the other companies like telecom companies which are providing services like TCS or Wipros or Tech Mahindras which are providing services. So there are two different kind of companies which are having different kind of program management, production lines, and way of managing their customers. But when we think about Internet of Things or digital solutions, there we are combining both hardware, connectivity, and IT. And when we combine these three together, the kind of managed services operation required, the kind of other things required are very different. So for a truck driver in Tamil Nadu, a device has been put into a truck. You need to provide the deployment capability in case there is any problem, a multilingual help desk, because you are talking to a bottom of the pyramid, people who might not be able to understand both Hindi and English. So across India, we had to create a deployment capability where people can go and put a device in a asset, which is a truck or a car or a healthcare device or a refrigerator or anything. And then you need to ensure that your IT portal and everything works and you have a managed services operation. So we created the whole end-to-end chain for our company to provide services to our customers. So within 4 years, we are doing a good business, we are profitable, and we are ensuring that our customers are getting service. Before I get into this slide, which I have focused on manufacturing, and this is where will I start talking about how you should be thinking about the plan, the future, and how things will move in different directions because of COVID-19 or the recession coming. And I can expect, I am assuming that all of you must be looking for a job and you must be thinking what kind of job and how you should prepare for the job. Okay. So one, in a manufacturing plant, if you start thinking of a manufacturing plant, a manufacturing unit can be considered into 4 M's. And this is a model which I worked on called, these 4 M's are called material. Now the supply chain management, logistics, quality assurance, and logistics. So a material is like a raw material for a factory. So where the raw material is going to come from, how to source, and the material also means the inside internal raw material which is moving to create the end product, so that the quality assurance. And then when you created the product, how the supply will happen and the kind of logistics that is required. So complete supply chain. Because the whole world was dependent majorly on one country for their manufacturing, so the supply chain management collapsed because one country could not deliver because of the lockdown. As a result, the whole world suffered. What will happen now? People will start thinking about how can they have a nearby option for their supply. First, second, they'll like to have an alternate location. So for a country like India, and I'm focusing more on India, whatever imports we were trying to do, we'll try to see if we can produce them in-house. That's one thing. So that will require more and more manufacturing plants being developed in India. The second thing which will be required, countries like Japan, Europe, US, and many other countries which got impacted because they had only one location, will be dependent upon a country, other location where they can get it produced. So they will definitely do some offshoring, but they'll also do an alternate, possible position where they can do it. Now this will result in more and more manufacturing plants to be developed and more productivity to be done. So you have to scale yourself. Scaling doesn't mean that you just have to scale and produce. It needs to be good quality. And secondly, you have to ensure that it's at low cost. Now I'm taking the name China. China as a country in so many years has not only been able to produce scale, but a quality, a zero defect product, plus a low cost. So if we have to compete and create an environment here in India where we become an alternative and we start sourcing it internally for our own consumption, for both the cases, we need to ensure that our supply chain management is managed. Second, our quality of product is zero defect. And third, the cost of the product is low enough for us to sustain. For all of these things, start thinking about what can be a solution. So what I'm trying to tell you here is the opportunity going forward is very high. But we need to find what problem we want to take to resolve. And if we are able to find a solution for that problem, I am expecting that there will be new unicorns that can be produced in India using these technology. So in material, we as Aeris have some solutions for the real-time supply chain management, and we have been able to implement it in India. But there'll be more required for quality assurance for logistics. Now coming to second M, which is machine. When you think about machine, you require scalability, digitalization of legacy infrastructure, and quality of product. So these things, many times the large old industries like cement industry, paper and pulp industry, so on and so forth, their machines are maybe 50-year-old or maybe 100-year-old. I have seen 100-year-old factory also, which is working. So if something is working, why the owner or the board will try to get it redundant and buy some new machines and invest? That means if we are able to get data and make these analog devices, analog machines into some level of digital data, we should be in a position to manage it. Before getting into machine again, I like to give you another thought on manpower. I am a president of a company and I'm managing, and I'm an Indian, I'm living in India. But today, suddenly, my highest priority is how me and my family can stay safe and healthy. Okay. So instead of trying to see what can I do in my career, how can I from current position I can grow further, my biggest priority right now is not my own career. My biggest priority is how my father, my mother, my two children, my wife, and me can stay safe and healthy. That's the priority number one. And I'm sure, the 1.3 billion people in this country and around 7 to 8 billion people across the globe, the priority has suddenly changed from having a crore rupee or becoming a millionaire or a billionaire to how can I stay safe and healthy. That's one. The second priority is how will I ensure that there is enough food for my family. So when these kind of things have changed, and the another thing which I like to share, if you have noticed, because of the COVID-19 lockdown, the manufacturing plant stopped completely because you were supposed to go and switch on a machine to let it work. Whereas in the IT industry, 80 to 90% of the people continue their work, and there was no productivity loss. In my company, we all had laptop, we all had connectivity at home, and we all had Zoom and other products to ensure that we are collaborating and talking to each other. And because our headquarters is in US, Chicago, and San Jose, and we have our office in London and Japan, we have always been doing these bridge calls or Zoom calls and others so that we were in a position to handle it. And there was zero productivity loss because of the lockdown. Now imagine when you have machines and machines are not able to be operated from remote locations, the whole factory system collapsed. So you need automation. You need things that can be managed from remote location. There are advantages of these because when you will be in a position to use people from remote location and they can manage the machines from remote location, what will happen is that the cross-border talent, a Japanese expert on a particular machine aspect, can be utilized from Tokyo, and he's not supposed to come to India to fix a problem. So this remote workforce management, no doubt in future robotics, but who will run the robotics? AI, artificial intelligence, AR, VR, all these things needs to be done, and the manpower and machine, all these will work in tandem to ensure that we are able to manage the future. Then comes the methods. So the fourth M is method: people, processes, operational processes, and business operations. All of these, I'm using the word all of these will get revised, and the new models will need to be adopted. So for people like you, when the whole industry is going through a change, not only say I gave you an example of manufacturing. The manufacturing industry is going through a complete change, and there will be a huge amount of manufacturing that will start in India. How you use these new technologies and expertise in technology is something which will be required to ensure that you are able to take new jobs and find things. Um, Another thought which I have is, because future will be not people sitting in one room and trying to decide things. There'll be there'll be there'll be times when people will be forced to take decisions on their own. So on the behavioral side, how much strong you as a leader and how quickly can you take a decision is something which will also be very important in this future world. And that's again one of the thought which I have been giving, that while all ends of manufacturing are getting impacted, but all these challenges are coming are also bringing so much of opportunity, and there are digital solutions and on more digital solutions required to take it forward. So this is one example of an industry which will getting impacted, and you all at your stage needs to find ways of what are the current challenges this new industry will focus, what are the shortage of skills, and how can you provide that skill to these industries to get better jobs and grow further. The word is skill and not training. We all have seen Three Idiots as a movie, but I don't know how many people understand that instead of getting trained, we need to get skills. There'll be more. Other than the essential services like telecom, milk, electricity, water, during the lockdown, banks. The next most important thing that was opened in Delhi, I'm not sure, about the other cities and overall in the lockdown, was plumber, electrician, so on and so forth, because those are the skills that are required. And these skills are not easily available. So, what are the kind of skills and the leadership level we can achieve so that we can continue with our jobs and we are able to ensure that we are winning and we are securing ourselves. I'm going to the next slide. Okay. And this is more to just give you an idea of what is happening in the healthcare industry. Okay. This didn't start yesterday or after COVID, but I'm sure you know that the current government, they were trying to, long back, there used to be child and mother care centers across India in different villages or Gram Panchayat level, where there used to be a lady or maximum two ladies called Asha Didis who were trained to take care of child and mother. So the kind of, the vaccination required, pre-pregnancy and post-delivery for both mother and child was something that used to be managed. But they were very localized. There used to be small room in which those two ladies used to sit. They used to go across all the village women, talk to them. They all now getting upgraded to a primary healthcare center in a village. These primary healthcare centers will now have a broadband connectivity. The complete BharatNet project that started in the government of India, and don't take it as I am promoting Modi's government or something. That project was started in the Congress UPA regime, but it's getting implemented in this last 2 years. So the complete broadband connectivity across Gram Panchayat, as a large scale implementation started happening. I am personally part of getting these ladies trained, the Asha Didis trained, from just being a mother and child care ladies to a proper clinical lady who can work in tandem with all kind of diseases as a first level of support. These clinics, these village centers will have all the standard equipments by which remotely all the kind of vital signal parameters can be taken through the body and can be provided through a centralized server to the doctor. So a doctor sitting in Delhi can see anybody across India through these remote patient monitoring centers. Now just start thinking about the kind of opportunity it has. It is skilling, it is broadband connectivity, it is type of standard devices that will be required across India, it will be complete network, it will be providing new data for the pharmacist, new data for emergency care, new data for policymakers, insurance sectors, so on and so forth. So you know, my main thought or my main information to all of you is try to start thinking about how the country is moving and how the world is moving. What are the current issues and challenges, and how can we prepare ourselves to handle those challenges and be skilled enough to get a job and to provide, better service. Okay. Currently, 155,000 villages have these kind of things already implemented, and the government is pushing very hard. There are remote locations like in the far desert or the far hill regions or an island in an ocean. There is a small village where instead of broadband connectivity or the cellular connectivity, we are using the satellite connectivity. So different options. So how can we think? I am not sure about the background of all of you, but many of you might be communication engineers or telecommunication engineer from electronics. Somebody must be civil engineer. You'll have to start thinking about the opportunities that can be generated from the kind of work government is trying to push. And manufacturing in India was the highest priority of the government right now. The second priority to me is the healthcare, to ensure that the people in India are healthy and safe. And these are the kind of things that are happening. Okay. I take you to the next slide, okay, which is in the energy sector. I honestly don't know uh, if you have ever thought, okay, and that the Uttar Pradesh as a state, and I'm not sure how many of you are from here, so please do not think that I'm trying to favor anybody, or I'm not. But because I'm a technician, I'm a technology expert. Okay, there used to be a time not far from today when cities used to get light electricity for for 18 hours. The smaller cities used to get for 12 hours, and the villages used to get alternate day of for 4 to 5 hours a day. The same state, without even making any additional power plants in the state, has been able to provide 24 cross 7 electricity in cities, more than 20 to 22 hours in the smaller cities, and 18 to 20 hours a day in village areas. Imagine, without having any additional production plant developed, no nuclear power plant, no thermal power plant, no hydel power, the same state has been able to produce enough and provide this much. It was only because of the kind of technology change that has happened. They have been able to put sensors into the transformers, the substation, the production plant. The productivity increased in the current production capacity. The transmission and the distribution losses got reduced to a significant level, that while the country has been, we have become a energy surplus country, while we have been able to give electricity to everybody. And that's the kind of state which is now the government is thinking of providing the water to all, the gas, the cooking gas to everybody house in a piped manner. So imagine the huge amount of work that is required and the kind of technology usage that is happening in these areas to ensure that we are going to do it. So detection of energy theft, grid losses, tracking the trends, and seeing how can we do it. The future in the power or the utility sector is, in our houses or in a factory, we will be allowed to buy electricity from the cheaper source. So there will be something like uh, like we have a stock exchange, we will have a utility exchange, and we can get connectivity or utility electricity supplied from any of the exchange which is providing a better price for me at a given time. And that's the level of technology change that will happen, where you will be in a position to take electricity at a given time from a given location and get many kind of cost benefits and ensuring that you have electricity or any kind of other utility, gas or water at your home. So while we are working towards sustainable, we are working towards environmental growth. You can imagine, the example I always give is Uttar Pradesh, because my office is situated in Uttar Pradesh, and we ourselves worked with the very many of the utility companies in Uttar Pradesh to ensure that the transmission and distribution losses are reduced to the international level so that everybody gets electricity. That's a very big thing that has happened, and I just wanted to ensure that uh, think in these lines, think in these lines, and see what can we do to uh, to ensure that when the country is moving towards these things, how can we skill ourselves and give some kind of ideas and thoughts to ensure that these are beneficial to the country and the people. Last thought before I am happy to take any questions if you have, okay, is on the smart city platform. Okay, country thought of creating 100 smart cities. Definition of a smart city can be very different, but uh, and the need for a smart city for a particular area is also very different. Okay, I just want to give you an example. I went to meet one of the municipal commissioner, and I was talking to them about the smart street lights, smart this, smart that. After spending 15-20 minutes with me, the question was, okay, Dr. Bhatnagar, we are suffering from huge amount of mosquitoes, and the city is suffering from dengue and chikungunya. Do you have a sensor which can tell me where should I put the device, put the medicine? Okay. So his problem was not having a smart city street light. His problem was he has very little resources to put medicines across city to avoid chikungunya or dengue outburst in their city. As a result, he wanted that if there is a sensor that can help, that is what he really wanted. And fortunately, we were in a position to help him, and we did it. And I'm very happy to tell you that we did a pilot with them, and after that pilot, we could tell them where the maximum, where the maximum uh, mosquitoes are, so that they can send people there and let the mosquito killed, and people can be saved. So the inference of these points are, we first need to see what the current challenges are and answer what is the real problem. Autonomous cars, I'm not sure when will they come in India. Okay, whether infrastructure in India will allow an autonomous car driving, whether the social sensitivity of us will allow us to sit in a car without a driver, and so on and so forth. But it is already a reality in United States. Japan and UK are really working towards it. But do you think a driverless tractor can work? And a tractor that can go into a fixed field and plow and come back, and you can bill and provide tractor as a service, will work? The answer is yes. The technology can work if we have a right problem, if we know the problem which people are facing in our part of the world. And because we have thousands of challenges, we have thousands of opportunities, is what my thoughts are. So I'll just summarize and close. So the first thing is the leadership quality to identify the current challenges. What can be the solution for those challenges? Then having a technical mindset and a technology, thought that how can we resolve it? The days are gone when only civil engineer or only electrical engineer or only IT professional can survive. The skill will require knowledge of many things so that you can provide an end-to-end solution, is what my thoughts are. And I believe that the future is not as dim as it looks like right now. Okay, I'll give you two examples, and then I stop for any questions if you have. I'm assuming you all are very young. In 1984-85 time frame, when Rajiv Gandhi became the prime minister, a young dynamic person, and he wanted to implement computers in India. And he said government will work with computer and the whole computerization will happen. Okay. The whole country stood up that the computerization will result in job losses. Automation will result in job losses. And we will not let it happen. Imagine if today there was no computerized railway tickets, how the country of our size would have worked. Okay. But that implementation of computer and the IT revolution that started resulted in 260 billion US dollar worth of revenue for India, more than 4 to 5 million people getting jobs in that industry, and a new and a variety of industries and jobs getting created because of it. The second example I like to take is the iPhone launch. And I personally, was part of that iPhone launch. AT&T was launching it along with iPhone, and I used to work for AT&T at that time. And in a very, very confidential manner, we were testing those iPhone devices. And I still laugh when I remember my first statement when I saw the iPhone 1 coming, and I saw it uh, in 2005 end or 2006 plus starting, whatever, I don't remember the exact timing. My first question was how will we dial the number, because there were no keypads. Okay, so touch screen was the first time that had come. I have done a research on it, and there are 48 different companies that got impacted or closed because of this touch screen instrument called iPhone. Okay, or the touch phone screen uh, mobiles. The Kotak camera, 180,000 people working. You must have seen all those kind of things. But it has generated huge amount of other businesses, other opportunities, and other skills required. And my positive thought, I am a very, very positive, I have very positive thoughts. Maybe initially there'll be a lull and people will start getting worried about what will happen. But like I spoke about the IT or computer revolution or the digital revolution that started with iPhone. Okay, this new COVID-19, post COVID-19, this digital revolution, which will force many countries throughout the world to implement many things which they were just thinking about, will result in huge amount of different kind of jobs. And that's something which you all need to think about. That's all from my side, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions if you have any.
Thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. So we will take some queries one at a time, and I would request the participants to please ask queries whatever you have. One at a time, please.
There are, sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry, but there are some question that has come on the chat. Okay. Are you okay if I take them first or?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, Vratika has asked, sir, but how can tractor or machine plow the field? There are sensors or something? Yes, there are sensors. We have been able to work on that. We have already launched tractor as a service in India. We have also launched that in Kenya and Nigeria. We lend these tractors to the farmers and we can get how much was plowed. And because there is a defined area where deploying happens, so we have sensors and we are able to remotely control these tractors and get these things done. iPhone is not user friendly yet, I agree, but it is much user friendly that many children can use it very fast. And how much user friendly we can make things is something that will help in the mass implementation. Something of those who do have IT, something for those who do have IT background or interest. Sorry, I couldn't understand, but if you are thinking about, uh, I think IT is required going forward. People will be required to understand computer and see how to work on it. Sahil Kalra, how was your company able to predict the dengue outbreak in Uttar Pradesh? I didn't use the word Uttar Pradesh. It was one of the cities and not in Uttar Pradesh. Did you use the past year data? No, we didn't do it. There is a pest sensor, okay, a sensor that can predict, that can tell you what is the density of pests, and that was the sensor that was used in some of the fields, and people were using that pest control sensor to find pests. We were able to work with students in IITs and were able to get that sensor modified to check how many mosquitoes. Okay, and those sensors were put into across the city. There were very low cost sensors which were able to give you the data at a centralized location that where the density of mosquitoes is high. So we were able to do that pilot in the city. It was we were able to utilize a pass sensor which was on the what is called pests. Does the COVID-19 affect our placements opportunity when we pass out in 2022? Is this impact going to last till 2022? I don't think 2022 is the time when people will this particular thing uh, will be having impact. The financial market and those, my expectation is whatever I'm seeing and hearing, you know, Indians have a very high power of resilience. You know, we work very fast and we do things much faster. The global economy and the Indian 1.3 billion people in India, my expectation is that we will be able to surpass and we will be able to take this time in a very positive spirit. Uh, the current government is trying to do a lot of things. The industry has taken. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with the industry leaders, and everybody is trying to see how can they utilize this opportunity and grow. So I'm not expecting that there will be any impact on placements till 2022. Sir, I think COVID-19 will boost our marketing jobs opportunity. Digital marketing opportunities will definitely boost, but you need to have a product to market. And so think about the product and so which can market, which you can be marketed better. Do you think world is already in recession? Answer is yes. I think the world is in recession. How it is going to impact India and when do you think world will be out of it? The world will be out. My expectation is by end of 2021, India will be out faster. Our growth trajectory will be faster than the whole world because we have huge amount of challenges to answer, and our country will be able to work much faster than the other countries. Something for those who do not have it interest. I don't know, Dishti, what that means. Uh, something for those who do not have it interest. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry, I could not understand. But sir, depending upon machine will definitely adversely affect our health. And of course, it will reduce manpower. Especially for the healthcare industry, Vratika, uh, we need somewhere around say 2 million doctors, and we have, and majority of those doctors are in the urban area, and so the amount of doctors required, and that too when we include the rural area, the shortage is so high that we really need this technology to help. And so the paramedical staff or the trained staff, the number is so less that we need to have this technology to ensure that they can help in providing services to the mankind. Do you think that automation will cut down jobs? Automation, as I said, IT, when computerization happened, it reduces job. When iPhone came, it reduced job. I sometimes talk about the first revolution when the factories came. The people who used to developed cloth by charkha, the spin wheel, lost their jobs. So people who won't skill themselves or reskill themselves and prepare themselves for the future, they will definitely lose their jobs. So the automation will not cut the jobs. The lack of keeping yourself ready for reskilling or upskilling will make you lose your job. Sir, given the recent locust swarming, what can be done with the current technology other than with drones? I think the pest control things will be required, and we will be in a position to tell more of how can we prepare locust. There was a discussion that was happening with the IIT Delhi students. We were trying to see if there can be some kind of noise or sound that can be created to stop or divert the locust swarming in our part. So there are different technology, but there's nothing concrete that has come out except for drones putting the pest control, or but there will be other things that will be coming soon, which will be in a position to talk about giving sound or other things to prepare. Saksham Khattar, especially in India where we have labor intensive technique rather than going for capital intensive. See, as I said, the priorities of people are changing. Okay, if me and you are thinking more about safety and health, so is anybody. Why there were so many people migrated from cities to villages? Because villages were less impacted because of the COVID-19, and people were able to feel that they'll be more safe and healthy if they go back home, in addition to less money. But now when there'll be uh, you know uh, s- I have another thought. There are a lot of people now. 11% of the people from the cities have moved back to the rural areas, and the reason for that is now there are houses, there is electricity, there is water, there is gas, there are toilets, and there is job. Okay, so why will people come to cities for job if they have so many things already available in the rural area? So there will be less people who will now try to move. So labor intensive techniques will have to put some major technology enhancements so that they can manage the skill shortage. What if we depend on much on technology, and that will eventually reduce the manpower? Is it a good take on it? uh, as I said, computerization reduced the manpower but provided the need for manpower in some other specialized areas, and more jobs got created because of computerization. More jobs got created and different kind of jobs got created because of iPhone. Okay, so technology implementation resulting in reduce of job or reduce the manpower is not a right expectation. Different jobs and different kind of techniques, different kind of skills that will be required is a true thing. So people should start thinking on it. Since 5G complements IoT for your company, complements IoT, has your company started any live use cases, and how do you see 5G effectiveness in India? Okay, very good question. So 5G, if I, 5G, uh, I'm sorry, but I feel that people do not understand why is 5G required and what exactly is 5G. Okay, you know, we are running our solutions with 2G also for a very, very fast and very accurate IoT solutions where the dependency is very high on connectivity. There is a need of 5G, and 5G is more for machines than for humans, because our work can happen with 2G, 3G, and 4G is good enough. Okay, so if you ask specifically for our company, we are part of the first lab that was started in Silicon Valley on IoT, and we are partnering with T-Mobile and Intel for that as an IoT mentors in that lab. We are doing some pilot implementation with 5G with Sprint in United States. So it's already work happening. In India, my expectation is that sometimes, the demand forces you to implement a technology, and sometimes technology availability helps in implementation of a particular technology faster. So 5G has got delayed in India, and my expectation is that now with manufacturing getting more, we need to see how soon can we do 5G. Effectiveness will be more into the manufacturing world. Other than that, I don't see any major return on investment because of 5G in India. In Rajasthan, as you know, locust attack every year. So is there any solution towards? Yes, we are working on it. And I'm personally in touch with the government. I was on a call with the Principal Secretary, Rajasthan government on locust thing. Can India witness a V-shaped recovery in the manufacturing sector and energy sector? If so, how India could take this as an opportunity? It is an opportunity for us. I am very, very optimistic that we are going to have a V-shaped recovery, Akash, and both manufacturing and energy sector will be taking this as a very high opportunity. Sir, what about finance jobs? Will it be affected due to COVID-19? I don't think. There'll be very specialized finance job that will be there. The finance is always a requirement, and I'm expecting jobs to be there in that. Sir, you were saying how to handle any crisis, but again the topic was changed to the example. Can you please complete it, sir? Um, what is the problem? What can be the solution to the challenge? How can we resolve it? And okay, so Bharat, my thought was, and I again give you an example, because what is the problem is for you to identify. Okay, there is a people who live near Muzaffarnagar, Meerut, near Delhi. They might have seen that there is a diesel generator set which people uses in the night to generate electricity and sleep. Okay, but in the morning they use the same diesel generator set to extract water from the land and plow their, irrigate their farms. And during the afternoon times, they use the same diesel generator set to make a fatfati, a car, and ride 10 people on it and charge 10 rupees per head. That's called, the thing is also called jugaad. Okay, but people could find the problem was there was no water. How to use the same machine to extract water from the land and use it for irrigation. Second thing, the same diesel generator set was used to produce electricity, to provide electricity at home in the night so that everybody can sleep. And the same diesel generator set was to provide transportation because there was no proper transportation available and generate revenue. So my main thought is that we need to find what is the problem which people will be ready to pay for it and what people is getting worried about. If we are able to find that problem and how to resolve it, then there is no challenge. Then we have many people who will be able to pay for it and buy it. So we need to find the new solutions and for the problems which people are facing. Subhadeep, sir, as we are moving towards Industry 5.0, how can IoT help in delivering better customer experience in the field of marketing in future? Okay, so we are moving towards Industry 4.0. I have not heard of Industry 5.0 yet. There was a Society 5.0 which Japanese have started thinking about, and that's more of a social norm than industry. So there is Industry 4.0 implementation, which is more of a digital connected factories, and that's Subhadeep is currently getting implemented. I'll give you one example, and that might help you in thinking about how can we deliver a better customer experience. I used to work for Mahindra's, and we had developed the Reva car, that E2O. Okay. Now E2O has a lot of sensors in that car, and it's a small car, electric car, and usually a second car for a home. And and there was a complete managed services operations. Okay, I don't want to get into detail of that, but one day, because it was a small car, the back tire of that car got into a pit. So that lady was in Jaipur, and she was driving, and the tire got stuck. So on a managed service operation, the BPO team guy could see that the engine is on or the battery is on, and the tire is moving, but the car is not moving. Okay. So the amount of data that was coming was data was coming that the back tire is moving, moving, but the car is not moving, and the engine is on. There is no engine, there is a battery in it. So there was a battery that was on. Okay. So the call center agent immediately called up that lady and said, "Madam, it looks you got stuck. Can I help you?" Okay. Subhadeep, that was the kind of a customer experience that can happen because of Internet of Things. That you are able to get so much of data that you are in a position to find ways of providing much, much better services to your customers. Continuous skill development will help to retain the jobs, and open-mindedness is required. Patience is also essential. I agree. So, Ekta, sir, what do you think new startup will work in the coming years? If the idea is very unique and can be utility purpose for the consumer, how do you see the survival? I did a research in the last few months, the kind of, the startups that were there. The majority of the startups which were not uh, technology based and trying to resolve a big problem, they collapsed. Okay. So my thought is that startup is the future and people need to work. But again, I'm saying, what is the problem we are trying to resolve? Answer this. Will people pay for that problem if that problem gets resolved? Then you should do it. Otherwise, things will not work. Is there a health issue with Android technology like cancer? I have no idea. I don't think so. Uh, Rohit Sugan, sir, thoughts on automobile domain after this session. How eco-friendly is Aeris? First, automobile as an industry and a sector, I was honestly not too gaga about it. I was thinking it will be in a bad shape, but the priorities have changed. The priority is health and safety. So in the last 1 month post lockdown started getting relieved, the amount of two-wheel vehicles and the low cost four-wheel vehicles sold in India is very high. Okay. So the mindset is not to use the public transport and catch any kind of virus. The thought is, how can I save myself? And to save myself, I should have my own vehicle. So suddenly the automotive industry, and if you see the share market also, the auto industry shares and the ancillary industry shares are going up because unexpectedly people have started buying lots of two wheels. So the financiers, the insurers, the auto manufacturers, the auto ancillary manufacturers, not for the large expensive vehicles, but for two-wheel and the low-cost four-wheel, there is an growth. We are a joint venture with Volkswagen for a connected car, and we are really working very hard, and we are experts in the electric vehicle space. So we are trying to do a lot of eco-friendly things. Which jobs will be created with automation and how people can cope with dealing with sophisticated technology? Indranil, what kind of jobs? See, the people will be required to even manage a robot. Okay. So managing a robot, managing a drone is a new skill. Not everybody knew how to manage a drone. So you will be surprised, in the state of Telangana, there is a 25,000 people training done to handle drones. Because in each and every village, if there will be 2 drones, how many people will be required to handle drones to go around the field and check the data? So opportunities are huge, and there will be lots and lots of skills that will be required. So I am not too worried. You have to see how will you work with the sophisticated technology, so that you have to train and untrain yourself. IT sector has always been an ever-growing field in today's world. How has this pandemic affected? See, I'm expecting it to be negatively impacted, because IT companies, say like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, they must be having a lot of airlines customers. They must be having a lot of tours and travel customers. They must be having a lot of hotel chains as a customer. They'll be running some railways, they'll be running some banks. And because all of them are getting impacted because of COVID-19, everybody will try to reduce their cost and future projects. As a result, the IT industry should also get impacted. What sector will be more affected by COVID-19? I'll provide you an Excel which is giving you all the answers. We are closing the queries, and yeah, thank you, Labani. I am very happy with the kind of questions people have asked. You know my email ID. If you have any, please send me an email and I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Sir, last
Uh,
question. Sir, can I ask?
I'm okay.
Sir, in related to service industry, so will if we gonna start up in related to service industry and clothes manufacturing, textile, we gonna work or not?
I'm not sure what is your name, but I again, you
Darshan.
have to tell me what is the problem you are trying to solve.
Sir, means if I have idea related to clothes and in relation to the service industry,
Yeah, so
means,
basically, textile as an industry, close
yes,
to an
sir.
industry, is an essential industry. So people will be
Yes,
interested in buying clothes, seeing new things. Textile is a big industry. So if you
yes.
have any idea which will be impacting this, I am sure that will be a good idea that can work. But again, I'm saying before you start implementing or working on it, you need to answer me two questions. First, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Okay. And the
Okay.
second, will anybody like to pay for that problem being resolved for them?
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm gonna explain. So my idea is related to the tailoring industry. Just like if we gonna purchase some shirts, like online material shirts are being like Flipkart, Mintra, and Ajio is providing online shirts, online T-shirts, and they got manufacturing defects. But if my company is gonna be to the customer's house and they take their measurings and all of their body and providing them shirts of their choice of their brands and providing in service of 6 months, 10 months, and 1 year, sir, it gonna work or not?
I think so. You know, we'll have to get into some more details
Yeah.
so that I can help you. But it looks at a first hand something that can run.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
okay.
much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So I,
Thanks.
Labani Maiti, on behalf of IBS Hyderabad and Club Rayas, would like to thank Dr. Bhatnagar for this insightful session, and I am sure this will help the students in upgrading themselves based on the current situation. So now we have another alumni of our college, Mr. Nadeem Shayad. So I would like request Mr. Nadeem to just have 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Labni, first of all. And first of all, thank you so much, sir, for giving me us a lot of insightful knowledge regarding IoTs and everything. I personally belonging to a service industry and which is more related into construction. Yeah, we are facing a lot of trouble to go ahead with our business in this crisis. But yes, as a I have went to your website first of all. So there was a quote that to give the customer a perfect experience in onboarding and everything, IoT is the best way to go with. So yeah, we are doing a lot of research and development in the same manner to reduce the labor intensive work into machinery intensive work in our own zone. So yeah, it was a great insightful session, and thank you so much, sir, for giving us a lot of valuable time. I just personally came to see your session and to get more insights, so that even I can develop some ideas for my company, which where I'm working for. And yes, Club Prayas, you're doing a great job. Go ahead, and thank you, sir, for giving us a brief information of everything. Thank you so much.
We promise you all to bring such insightful session in future. Thank you all for joining and making this session an interactive one. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You all can exit the.
Yeah.
You all can leave.
Thank you. Shreya? Hello, Shreya.
Hi.
You have gotten another mail, right, for the team meeting. దాంట్లో జాయిన్ అవ్వా ఇప్పుడు
I
ఇది
didn't get any other mail. I mean, like, have you posted another mail?
ఒక మెయిల్ పంపించాను చూడు ఒకసారి.
Okay,
టీమ్
sure.
మీటింగ్ ఉంది సరేనా,
Okay.
దాంట్లో వస్తే ఇది
Yeah, yeah.
జియోది.
Okay.
కాజల్, హలో.